Ian Wright reveals what Arsenal need to do to beat Man City in the Champions League, and Arsenal fans are furious with the latest news surrounding their clash with West Ham. Discover all this and much more now with the latest Arsenal news. But before that, if you're also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to our channel right now to stay informed about everything happening behind the scenes of the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's get into today's key news. Arsenal legend Ian Wright has now told his former club what they need to do to stand a chance of winning the Champions League this season. Arsenal will continue their Champions League campaign later this month, with the first leg of their round of 16 knockout clash against Porto. The Gunners will be favourites heading into that encounter with the Portuguese outfit, and Mikel Arteta will be expecting his side to go far in the year's iteration of Europe's elite club competition. Of course, the North London club have never won the Champions League before. The closest they came was in 2006, when they were runners-up after suffering late heartbreak against Barcelona in Paris. If Arteta could guide Arsenal to continental glory this season, he would immediately cement himself as a club legend. Arsenal made light work of the group stage in their year's competition. However, under Arteta, they have a poor record in knockout football at European level. The Spanish coach has to show signs this season that he is capable of achieving success on the biggest of stages. There are already positive signs that the Gunners can make an impact in Europe though. Arsenal broke a club record against Lens earlier in the competition, whilst the likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli have adapted to their first experience of Champions League football admirably. Gabriel Jesus is also flying in the competition. Whilst he has struggled for goals at Premier League level, he has been prolific in Europe. The Brazilian striker has netted 4 times in just 5 Champions League outings so far this season. The Arsenal will face its toughest test. No one in the competition will be taking Arsenal lightly this season, but the biggest threat to their chances of glory could well come from closer to home. Manchester City won their maiden Champions League crown last season, and few would be against Pep Guardiola's side retaining the trophy. If Arsenal are to win the Champions League this season, they may well have to overcome Manchester City themselves in order to do it. Ian Wright has now told his former club how they might achieve such a feat. Speaking on the Stick to Football podcast, he said, "I'd love Arsenal to win it. If we got there in the final with City, I'd feel more confident. You've got to be more ruthless with the chances. You've got to see games off so that you can relax in games. At the moment, we're not taking those chances even though in the end, we won the game. If we could take those chances, I'd be more confident going to places because we're defending a lot better." Arsenal will have to be at their best, and utterly clinical, if they are to win the Champions League this season. However, such is the strength of the Premier League, a division in which the Gunners are now one of the dominant forces. Their chances of European glory should not be underestimated. And Arsenal fans are furious over the appointment of West Ham referee. Arsenal will aim to continue their winning form on Sunday as they travel across London to face West Ham, but it will not be easy. Although David Moyes' side are winless in their last 6 in all competitions, their last victory came at the Emirates in a 2-0 shock win in December. Arsenal drew 2-2 last season when they went to the London Stadium during the run-in, and also lost 3-1 there in the Carabao Cup in November. There are some bad omens ahead of Sunday's game, despite coming fresh off an outstanding victory against Liverpool, and the nerves amongst fans will not have been helped by the choice of referee for the game. Craig Pawson selected for West Ham vs Arsenal. The Premier League have confirmed that referee Craig Pawson will officiate Sunday's game, with John Brooks on VAR. Pawson is a referee Arsenal are familiar with for all the wrong reasons. Fans will vividly remember a defeat away at Wolves in February 2021, which saw Mikel Arteta's side take the lead through Nicolas Pepe, before a series of contentious decisions saw David Luiz sent off and a penalty awarded to Wolves on the verge of half-time. Luiz had barely made any contact with Wolves striker Willian José, and was surprisingly given a red card in addition to the Wolves penalty for an action which was arguably not even a foul. Wolves then scored another before Bernd Leno was sent off, in what was a calamitous defeat, and both players and fans were furious with Pawson at full time. Former midfielder Granit Xhaka uploaded, and then deleted, a dig at Pawson on Instagram, whilst Hector Bellerin also posted a picture of Pawson and then Wolves star Conor Cody after the game. Arsenal's record with Craig Pawson. Pawson has refereed Arsenal games on 29 occasions, with the Gunners winning 16, drawing 3 and losing 10 of these encounters. He has also given Arsenal 50 yellow cards in this time, with 69 dished out to the opposition, and has also awarded for penalty kicks against the club. Arsenal have actually won their last 5 games under Pawson, which included last season's 2-0 victory away at Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. Despite his fairly solid record overall though, he is still remembered unfavourably for the David Luiz red card incident. West Ham also benefited from a controversial Pawson decision last season, as he failed to give Chelsea a penalty for a clear handball by Thomas Soucek. Arsenal have had their fair share of run-ins with the PGMOL and FA over refereeing decisions, and it will be hoped that there is little discussion about Pawson after Sunday's clash. Arsenal Champions League squad decision hints at huge Jurrien Timber injury update. Jurrien Timber was one of the most exciting signings Arsenal made in the summer transfer window, yet fans have barely had a glimpse of the defender. The Dutch international picked up an ACL injury on the first day of the Premier League season that has kept Timber out up until now, though the former Ajax man is closing in on a return. The 22-year-old was part of Arsenal's travelling squad to Dubai earlier this year, with reports suggesting that Timber will be back in time to feature in the final months of the season. And as per UEFA's official website, Timber has now been included in Arsenal's Champions League squad for the knockout stages, with the Gunners set to face FC Porto later this month. Whilst Timber might not be ready in time to feature in either leg against the Portuguese giants, progression to the quarter-finals could see the former Ajax man feature for Arsenal. And for supporters, this small detail could be a huge update on Timber's injury, with the Dutch international seemingly inching closer to returning to action after nearly 6 months out. Timber joined Arsenal in the summer with plenty of excitement and promise, with the defender's performances in pre-season hinting that Mikel Arteta had once again hit it out of the park. Yet injury has kept the youngster out for the entire season, with Timber more or less missing an entire year's worth of football in his professional debut for the North London side. However, Timber's return is now just around the corner, and Arsenal's chances of Premier League and Champions League success could now be boosted with the defender's comeback. Indeed, Timber clearly has a big part to play in Arsenal's future, and the versatile youngster's imminent return will be huge for the Gunners in the weeks to come, with 2 pieces of silverware still up for grabs. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.